Hey students, as advertised, it's your favorite instructor here, Ethan Howard, and we're going to go through some more GIS today and getting into a bit deeper stuff today. So if you are interested in a career in GIS, this is where you make the big bucks, is being able to do what's called spatial analysis. So if you're making maps and you're just doing the selections and those types of things, that's more of a technician position. But if you want to actually be a GIS analyst or specialist, this is where you would get rolling and get to being proficient in the toolbox and doing spatial analysis in GIS. So I believe that there's somewhere over 9,000 tools in GIS. We're going to look at 4 today, and these are 4 of the most common ones. And so if you get good at these ones, you're already off to a great start. So it's going to be a little bit longer video, but all you have to do is follow along and produce what I produce. And when you turn in your assignment, this will be what you turn in to me. Okay, so let's get to it. So I've got the software open here, and I'm going to add data. Now, if you do not have this to the right, this catalog, check to see if maybe it's banked along here, along the edge, or if it's still not there, go up to View. And I started this without a template. So I just opened the software, started without a template, got to this point, go up to View, and then make sure that you click Catalog Pane, and that'll bring it back. So sometimes it disappears. And then underneath folders here, I added a connection to my GIS103 folder, which should be the one that you guys downloaded with the data. And if that's not there, right click on folders, add folder connection, and then navigate to your folder that holds your data. So I'm going to add some data to my map here. Remember, you can pause this at any time and rewind it if you lose track of what I'm doing. I'm going to go to my GIS103 folder, go to my GIS103 data, and underneath shape files here, I'm going to add FS roads. So right click on it, add to new map. I want to make sure that I'm still recording because it did something kind of funny there. Yep, we're good. Okay, so I've got my roads, and I'm going to uncheck the world topology, topographic, and the hill shade. Sorry, I added ownership actually. Go ahead and add ownership. And then also add the roads. So I did the wrong one. There's my roads. Now I think about it, I'm actually going to not use the ownership. So I'm going to right click on that and remove it. Remember, when you do that, it's not deleting it. It's just taking it out of your map. It still exists. I'm going to go back and I'm going to add, let's do the ranger districts. So we've got roads and ranger districts. There they are. Okay, so you'll remember last time we learned how to select and do a definition query. So we'll use those things still. But if we want to do some more serious analysis, we have to start using the toolbox. And so let's just start off real basic here. So let's say that I wanted to know how many miles of roads were in the Chemult Ranger District. And let's actually make it a little bit harder. How many miles of open roads are in the Chemult Ranger District? So to do that, I first want to only be showing the Chemult Ranger District, right? So to do that, I just double click on my Ranger Districts, go to definition query, Remember, this makes it so only that one's showing up. And I can go where district NA is equal to Schmaltz. Sorry, not district name, district NA. Where is it? District NA is equal to Schmaltz. Apply. Okay, look, now only, you'll see if I uncheck my roads here, only the Schmaltz Ranger District is showing up here. Great. And so now if I did a selection, select by location, and used this to select the roads, that wouldn't give me my answer, because what that would do is even if a road crossed here, like this one here, it would select the whole thing. I'd get the miles for this whole road, and I don't want that. I want just the miles of roads, open roads. Let's go miles of open roads inside the Schmaltz Ranger District. So open roads for the Forest Service are operational maintenance level 2 and above. So now I've got to do another definition query. So I'll go to FS Roads, double click it, definition query, where operate. Now I can just go is equal to, is greater than or equal to. So I'm going to go down here. Is greater than or equal to 2s. So it's 2s and above. So where operate is greater than or equal to 2s, apply. Hit OK. So now I've only got open roads. I've only got the Schmaltz Ranger District. We're off to a good start. And so now, instead of using that selection, what I needed to do is use a tool called Clip. And the Clip tool, click on Analysis, and then Tools. Now I can search for it, CLIP. And it's this one right here in Analysis Tools. And that'll open up this, what we call a wizard, is when you fill things out and then it'll run. It's kind of a fun little term. My input. So the way you have to think of this is your input is like your cookie dough, and your clip feature is your cookie cutter. So cookie dough, cookie cutter. My cookie dough would be the FS roads, because they're the ones I'm wanting to clip. Cookie cutter would be the Ranger districts. And you'll see right now it's going to give me a little warning here. Use the filtered records 1. So what that's saying is both times here, use the filtered records 1786. It's saying, hey, Ethan, you've got a definition query set. Are you sure you want to just run with that definition query? And of course, I know what I'm doing, so I would say yes. But if I didn't want to, I wanted to use all the roads, I would just uncheck this. It would use all the roads. So then output feature class, we can click the little folder. We will go to our GIS103. GIS103 folder. I've got a lot of folders here. Okay, GIS. Oh, wrong one. GIS103 2024. And I'm going to go into, I'm actually going to create a new folder. So I right click, folder. I'm going to, actually, no, let's say make a folder, but I don't need to do that. I think I put in here, no, sorry guys, I'm kind of forgetting how we did. There we go. Okay, so go into results. Here I can make a folder. So your story map was weeks 3 and 4. So this would be weeks 5, 6. And then in there, this is where I can right click, create a geodatabase. And this is where I will put all of my data. So here I can name the geodatabase weeks 5_6. Remember, no spaces. Inside that geodatabase, I double click it. I will then save this as Chemalt Open Roads. And you should do the same. Click save. Okay, so we are cutting the FS roads using the ranger districts, saving it in our geodatabase in our results folder, and we're calling it Chemalt Open Roads. Make sure you save it where I saved it, because that's what you'll turn in when everything's due. And I can run it. See what happens. I got a green check mark because I know what I'm doing, right? So now let's go ahead and uncheck the other roads. And look at that. I've got only roads in the Chemalt Ranger District. And you'll see they terminate at the boundary like they should. So let's go get those miles. I right click on it. I open up the table. You'll see there is a miles field here at the end somewhere. GIS miles. So now this did not automatically update. So these numbers right now are wrong. To get them right, I have to right click on the header, GIS miles. Go to, they changed it on me here. They go to, now it's like calculate geometry. And right here, we're going to, under property, we're going to do length. Geodesic's fine. Just saying, pay attention to the curvature. The length unit, we want miles. US survey miles. Coordinate system. So this would be, if you watch the lecture I posted, this would be if you had a coordinate system that did not distort distance and direction as badly, you could use it to do a projection. But we're not too concerned about that right now. We're just practicing. So we don't need to put anything for coordinate system. Then click OK. You'll see it updates our GIS miles. And now we can grab the total. So we right click on it, explore statistics. You'll see along the top here, if I scroll over, you'll see that I've got all kinds of pretty cool stuff. I've got the mode. But the sum right here, this is what I'm interested in, is 1,076.82 miles. So there's a little over 1,000 miles of open roads inside the Chemalt Ranger District. So let's walk back through that one more time. What we did is we set definition queries to only show the Chemalt Ranger District and roads that were 2 and above, because those are the ones that are open. And then we used the clip tool to clip the roads by the Chemalt Ranger District. And then we recalculated our geometry in the miles field, because it doesn't automatically do that for you. And then we looked at, right-clicked on it and went to Explore Statistics, and we looked at the sum here. That's the clip tool. Now, another one that I'm not going to have you guys run through, but I'll explain what it does, is the erase tool. So the erase tool just does the opposite. What it does is it uses the erase feature to punch a hole rather than, so it's like using the cookie cutter, but throwing the cookie away and keeping the rest of the cookie dough. So just keep that in mind. To clip, you are making a cookie. Erase, you are using the cookie cutter to throw the cookie away and punch in a hole. Okay, and they work so similarly, I don't think you guys need to necessarily run through erase right now, but it's the same way. You would go to analysis, tools, and then just search for erase. And just remember, it does the opposite of clip. Okay. So what if we wanted to know how many acres of the Chemalt Ranger District were within 200 meters of level 3 roads? And these might sound ridiculous, but these are actually the types of questions that people need to know, especially if they're doing a large ecological restoration project. You just have to know numbers like this, know how many acres of whatever habitat you're affecting, how many acres of this is going to look like how many acres of that in the future. So this is just how we practice. We're given a question. We then figure out, okay, what steps do I need to take to achieve the answer to that question? And so now we're talking how many acres of the Chemalt Ranger District is within 200 miles of level 3 roads. Okay. I've already got the Chemalt Ranger District queried, so it's fine. But let's take a look here at the roads. So let's double click on the roads. Sorry, I was getting a phone call there. I had to see who that was. So let's go back here and let's remove our Chemalt open roads. We're done with those. Right click on the layer, remove. Let's go back into the definition query for the FS road. So I double click it, definition query. I can then delete this definition query. I could save this. This is pretty cool. I could save this if it was a really complex query that I used a lot. I could actually save it and then just import it in whenever I wanted to. But we don't need to do that. We're going to delete it. I can then do a new query. This is where operate is equal to 3. Apply. Click OK. Okay, so those are my level 3s. Now I want to know how many acres of this. So when I'm talking acres, I've got to automatically be thinking polygons. Okay, I should be thinking polygons. And so what I have to do is I have to cut my ranger districts by my roads, but my roads aren't a polygon, so I can't use them to cut with quite yet. So I have to use a tool that I think is extremely powerful. It's called the buffer tool. So to use the buffer tool, I'll go back to analysis. And then you'll see here that it's already right here for me because I use it quite a bit. If it's not there for you, clip is right here too, pairwise clip. If it's not there for you, you can just go to tools. And these pairwise ones, they're just versions of the tool that are supposed to run a lot faster. But you can use either one, buffer or pairwise buffer. So type in buffer, and I'll do the buffer analysis tools one. The input feature is what I am buffering. I am buffering my roads. It's saying I have a definition query set. That's good. Output feature class, I just click the folder. It is not remembering where it went, so I need to go back to my results folder. And here, and we're going to call this roads underscore buff 200 meters. And then here it's asking for the distance, 200 meters for the units. In type round is fine, no dissolve. We now run it. You'll see now it buffered my road, so they look like little worms, huh? But what's cool about this is it creates a new feature class, but that new feature class is a polygon that's been buffered 200 meters on both sides of the road. And it also has the same table as the roads. So that's really cool. So now I can use this buffered feature to clip my Chenault Ranger districts and get the acres. Now you might be asking, why don't I just get the acres of these? Well, you'll see that sometimes they stick out. See? So that wouldn't be good. I need to clip it. So go back to tools and I can search for clip. And open up clip. Now this time my cookie dough is going to be the Chenault Ranger district because I want to know the acres of that. Ranger districts. The clip feature, that's going to be my buffered roads. And my output feature or data set, I'm going to go back. Maybe it remembered this time. Of course, it did not. So, whoops. Where did I end up? Okay, hang on. There we go. Okay, and so now I will call this one Ranger District RD underscore buff 200 meters clip. So I know that's been clipped. And just looking here. Okay, so we'll run it. And so now let's take a look at this new one. So uncheck the roads, uncheck everything else. Okay, that's looking good. So now let's go check those acres. So we open it up. We look at the end of the table here, GIS acres. So if it did not have an acres field already, that's fine. We could add one. Let's actually just do that to practice. So you'll see up here, we're going to click add. That's going to take us into this view. This bottom field's what we're adding. We're going to call it acres. We don't need an alias. We can make this, double click here, make this double. Maybe. Double. And it's a numeric field. And okay, it's not liking that. So ignore that one. We don't need to change it to numeric. And so then we go up here to fields. And up here we got to click save. And now if I close out of that view, the table view, you'll see now I've got this new field called acres, but it doesn't have anything in it because I haven't calculated the geometry. So I can right click on acres, calculate geometry, and now we will go here to change this to area. Geodesic is fine. Area unit, we want acres. And let's go to US survey acres. Click OK. And there's my answer. 11,686 acres are within 200 meters of a level 3 road. Okay. So that's now we've got clip, erase, buffer. We're going to look at one called intersect and then one called dissolve. And then we'll be done. So let's take a look here. Go ahead and remove this guy. And let's go ahead and remove the definition query off of our ranger district. So remove the buffer one. Now we've just got ranger districts and roads again. Let's double click our ranger districts, delete that. So we've got all the districts are back. So what if I wanted to know the miles of each type of road in each ranger district? Okay, this is something that'd be a lot more difficult to do using just the clip. There's another tool that's really powerful called intersect. And what it does is it takes both the tables and joins them together, as it then also joins together where they overlap in a spatial sense. So the result looks like a clip, but the tabular result is more helpful a lot of the time because it's taken the two tables and combined them. And so we're going to take our ranger districts and intersect them with our roads, because we want to know the types of each road, miles of each type of road inside each ranger district. So to do this, we then go to Tools, search for intersect. And you can input more than one thing. So we're going to first input our ranger districts because you want them first in the table. And then we're going to enter our roads. And then our output is going to go back into the same data. And we're going to call this one roads underscore RD underscore intersect. Save. Everything else is fine. We can then run it. Oh, shoot. Hang on. I had the FS road still. Yeah, let's go in. Practice run. Let's go into FS roads, double click it. Definition queries, get rid of our 3 definition query. Bring them all back. And turn them on. Okay, there they are. They're back. Let's remove that one we just did. My bad. Okay, let's try it again. Run it again. So now we've got roads, ranger districts, roads, the intersect on the end of this name here. We have to put a 2 on it because we've already got that one. So put a 2 on it. Okay, all attributes, same as input. Okay, all that looks good. So now let's run it again. Okay. It's going to produce a line feature because it's going to use the roads. So let's just take a look at what we got here. So just lines, but now if we open up the table, you'll notice that it combined the two tables. So the first table that's starting here, this is the Ranger District table. And then if you scroll to the right, you'll see that now we're looking at roads. Okay. The problem is we've got a bajillion records in here, and that's where the last tool comes in. Is what it's going to do is we're only concerned about show me the Bly Ranger District and then each type of road in the Bly Ranger District and how many miles there are for each. And then the Chemalt Ranger District and each type of road and how many miles there are for each. So we can clean up a lot of this. And so what the dissolve tool does is it runs through there, and where those fields are the same, it turns them into one record. So every time it says Bly Level 1 Road, it's going to merge all of those together into one record, okay? And that's really handy, so I'll show you. Let's go back to Analysis, Tools. We're going to be looking at Dissolve. The input feature is going to be our intersect that we just created. Output feature, that's fine, but we got to make sure it's going to the right place. It is not. I could go in there and set it so it always goes to the right place, but I figured because we weren't running enough tools, it wouldn't matter. Now I'm kind of regretting that decision, but it's okay. Okay, so now this one have the same name as that one, except at the end it'll have DISS on the end of it. So we have roads _RD _ intersect _ DISS for dissolve. Save. And then this is where we are going to choose the fields. So this is where we were at. It wants to know which fields it wants us to look at. We want district NA, not name, NA, and operate. Okay, so wherever those are the same, it's going to put them together. Wherever district, like Chemalt in level 1, wherever it says Chemalt in level 1, it repeats that. It's going to merge them into one feature. And we want that. So now we're going to go to operate. Okay. The rest of the fields are going to disappear, which is fine. Okay, create multiple features is fine. Let's run it. Let's take a look at the table. Nothing happened here. You won't see anything on the screen. Let's look at the table. Ooh, look at this. Bly Ranger Districts, 1s, 2s, and 4s. Chemalt Ranger District, 1s, 2s, 3s, and 5s. Chilliwack Ranger District, 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s, and 5s. Klamath. Okay, so now we just need to get our miles. So we just got to add a miles field. So let's add miles. We didn't do this before because it would have gotten rid of it. So we add the miles field. Let's call it miles. And we'll make it a double. So these are just the data types. You're just really telling it how many decimal places or digits to show. Double's the longest, and because we don't have a lot of records, it's fine. If we had like 50,000 records, it might be too large, so you start using double, but because we only have a few, it's okay. Then click up here at the top, we click save. We can then close out of the fields view, and now we have our new field. And it doesn't have anything in it yet because we haven't calculated our geometry. So now we can calculate, right click, calculate geometry, miles, length, unit, US survey miles. Don't need the coordinate system. We then run it. And look at this. So that's telling us exactly how many miles of level 4 roads are inside the Bly Ranger District. There's 7 miles. Look at that table. Isn't that beautiful? How many miles of roads? Silver Lake Ranger District, level 1 roads. There are 11,639 miles. No, 11 miles. Sorry. Thought that was a comma. 673 miles. Sorry, I was looking at it says meters. 673 miles. Cool. So you learned how to use the clip tool. The erase tool I mentioned is just the reverse of the clip tool. You learned the intersect tool, the dissolve tool, and the buffer tool. And if your data are all saved in that geodatabase inside your results folder, you're good to go. I'll make a video on how you turn that stuff into me. But if you followed along and saved everything where it's supposed to be saved, then you'll get your full credit for this exercise. If you have any questions, feel free to email me, or you can always text me. My number is on the syllabus. And I will see you guys on the next exercise. I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you were able to follow along. Laters on the Minjay.
Laters on the Minjay.